ever gameplay of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End was shown off today a couple of hours ago at PlayStation Experience. Make sure you click down the link below if you want to see my full review of the conference. Spoilers, I really freaking loved it. So I just wanted to go through the gameplay. I've watched it uncountable amounts of times now and sort of picked out the top 5 things which I think they've improved from the previous Uncharted's before. Obviously it's on the PS4, it's next gen, and Naughty Dog really outdoes himself every single time, and I'm just really excited for the game. So let's get on to the top 5 of what they've shown. Number 1 is Nathan's traversal in itself. It would not be an Uncharted game unless he was climbing up a billion walls and stuff like that. I think they've really improved the animations. Again, this is like a small change, but it looks so much better. So it's a lot more fluid and stylized, like he's scrambling up the wall sort of now, so it's not just kind of that same old jump. They've upped the animation levels. I mean, it's just a lot more realistic. I mean, he still is the same type of, like, if he was a real life dude, he'd be the strongest man in the world. But, you know, it's a game, so whatever. What we see him do in traversal as well is we see him pick up a spike from a dude on a wall, and then he can sort of do the, like, stab in and sort of traverse up higher. We've seen that in a lot of games before, so it's good for Naughty Dog to pick this up for Uncharted as well. If you want to get really into it, I haven't actually seen a game which was as fluid as how he used it. There was obviously gameplay cues where you could like stick it in and where you couldn't. There was a part where he was trying to stick it in the wall where you couldn't actually stick it in, and yeah, just the way he like stabs it in and moves to the next one where he has to also jump to stick it in. All of that looks just really nice, and they've really like tightened that up and outdone themselves compared to Uncharted or The Last of Us before. And of course we see the grapple. We've seen Nathan Drake swing on ropes before, but we've never seen him with an actual grapple hook himself. And that again just worked really nicely. He swung really nice, helped him move up walls, so it's a good improvement for the series. Number 2 is the combat features of the game. Uncharted has always been massive in its combat, and they've improved it each time to add in more animations. This again is more than ever. It again looks so much fluid. Like if you see the fights in Uncharted 3 in comparison to this looks so much better. It actually looks like they're like putting in a punch, everything's reacting properly, so it's good to see that in there. The shooting looks like they've taken the part of the engine of The Last of Us and brought it into Uncharted, which is always a good thing. It looks a lot more precise in my opinion. He's like sliding down things and like fluidly hits a dude. Just again, all the animations fit together so well in the combat that it's nice. There was also an introduction of stealth, which, I mean, stealth again has been in the previous Uncharted's, but you'd see him like crouching in the leaves around, and again, the stealth animations are a lot better. The way that he's hiding from enemies and moving along and taking them out quietly. It's not just the random like snap the neck, run away. Like there was sort of a bit more struggle in there. Again, more realistic, what you expect from Naughty Dog on a PS4 system. Number 3 is level design. Now I actually think this is the biggest improvement that I've seen so far in this. A lot of people probably aren't going to talk about this though. But if you think of Uncharted, back to Uncharted 3 or whatever, everything's sort of really linear when you're like doing a combat situation. Like it's really sort of a small room or a corridor. It's not as much traversal. This level they showed us, it was big, sprawling. He could run around lots of places. There was lots of depth up and down where he could fight these enemies. It just was a lot bigger than what you see in Uncharted. It more reminds me again of The Last of Us, where you've got sort of where to play around, where you're going to take out enemies and stuff. So I think that is how they're sort of moving it through. And I think this is the way for Naughty Dog in the future for next gen, is instead of changing a lot of things, they've just expanded the environment which you're going to be fighting in. Also, holy shit, he was like fighting on like a massive cliff mountain. It was beautiful on an island. There was massive backdrops behind it. So with all that, it was just really pretty. Number 4 is the AI of the characters. First of all though, the enemy characters that we're talking, just a little tidbit, were from South Africa. So that sort of gives us an impression of where this is located, unless it's just a South African dude going after him and all his goons are South African, but it could be sort of around there. So AI, a lot smarter this time around, how they were reacting to how Nathan Drake walked around things. They'd sort of pick that up. There was a part where 2 of them split off. from each other, which you see in a lot of games obviously, but the guy noticed like his friend wasn't there, so he was like, oh shit, I better go actually check, which, you know, still in games doesn't really happen that regularly. So they've sort of picked that up, yeah, a lot more reactive to how you're playing the game, which is always good for AI. And number 5 is again what Naughty Dog excels at, is really tweaking the little things to make you more immersed in the environment. Like at the start, you're looking at Nathan Drake and you can see like the sweat reflect off his neck. When you're in the pools down below, you see like the sunlight shimmering off the water onto the walls. Like Nathan Drake, he's in the water and you can like hear his voice change. Like if you're cold in the water, you're gonna have a different voice as well. There's a part where one of the dudes pins him against the wall and like the waterfall falls all over his face. Just those little things are what Naughty Dog just thinks about and like gets it pretty much perfect each time. So again, I'm glad and excited to see how they make the world more immersive, more beautiful than ever before in the PS4 system. And that is the top 5 things I've found that is new in the gameplay. Of course, there's a lot more things to talk about, like, holy shit, Nathan Drake's brother, who knew he had a brother, which is voiced by Troy Baker, by the way, funnily enough. Setting and everything else, which we will find out I think in later trailers and everything. But again, I am so excited for this game. I think you guys all know how much of a big Uncharted fan I am. I would not be where I am today on YouTube talking about PlayStation if it wasn't for the Uncharted games. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you go check out some of my other PlayStation experience videos, which I've got up, and I will have more to come, or just check out some other any videos in general. If you are not subscribed already, if you like my videos, make sure you do subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, watch me on Twitch, all that good stuff. Links in the description below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!